Hi everybody, it's Gypsy. First of all, I'm going to apologize in advance for my cat Persephone. She's in rare form, wants to play. You, I'm talking about you. She heard her name. Maybe she's settling down finally. No, she's going to try to pull the bath man out from the bathroom door right now. Yeah, she's been crazy today. Anyways, I apologize in advance for her. So, there's something that has been bothering me for, years. I mean, probably decades. I know it bothered my dad because when this first started decades ago, he said graduated. He crossed over in 97. So this started before that because I remember him talking about this coming. Anyways, yeah. This is what I feel about planet Earth. And I'm talking about its ascension. It has a tendency to take 2 steps forward and 3 steps back, or maybe 4 or 5 steps back. I don't know. But I have this very strong feeling based, I believe, now this is my spiritual memory, on when I told you guys I don't typically incarnate here. This is only my 5th incarnation here. There's another planet I usually incarnate on. When I was incarnated on that planet, I visited here in ancient times. Right, Mommy, ancient Egypt. Right. So it's like I'm sensing with Earth, they were more advanced at one time, and they keep going backwards. And maybe a little bit forward and a little bit back. Now, many times, the intentions are good. Wanting to eradicate certain social issues that need to be. But we have to think about how we're doing it first, okay? Right, throwing the baby out with the bathwater. Now, what I am seeing in an effort, and this has been going on for decades, in an effort to eradicate racism, we're promoting it. Now, I'm not going to say we're, because it's not all of us. I know I don't participate in that type of racism. Now, the example I am going to use today, yes, so you woke people, don't get bent out of shape. Do not get your panties in a bunch. My mother, Janice Corrao, pronounced the proper way, Corrao, or Vincencia Corrao, my mother, yes, and it goes back, Corrao, Tarantino, Gennaro, etc., etc. I'm one of them, okay? I'm her daughter. I'm Italian. I can talk about this shit before anybody gets their panties in a bunch. And now you just saw I am. Yes, there are stereotypes. Some of them are true. This is very true. The hands, okay? I'm proud of it. Okay. Now, this Italian X thing, I heard about it, a few months ago. And I'm like, what the hell is that? I contacted my siblings. If you guys ever heard of this? They're like, no, what the hell is that? Now, what I had read at this time, first of all, was not an explanation. Now, when it affects your family or your people, you get a little concerned. You want more information, like, what the hell? Apparently, there was another Dago. Now, Dago is a word used for Italians back when I was young. And yes, the only ones who were allowed to use it without it being an insult were other Italians, okay? I refer to myself as a Dago a lot. Now, this other Dago, she's much younger than me. She was obviously young. Therein lies the problem, I believe. And I know I'm being insulting, but you know what? I feel everybody talks about being offended. I'm not allowed to be offended. I'm tired of that. I am offended by this. I am. I guess a few years ago, Italians, this woman deemed oppressed. And I guess we're supposed to be honored by that. I guess it's an honor to be oppressed. Since when does a Dago put up with being oppressed? We don't. We don't. All right, now that's an insult right there to me. And it was by another Dago. It is never, ever an honor to be oppressed. Any group, any person on this planet who believes it's an honor to be oppressed is someone who is not going to make the changes needed for this planet to ascend. Oppression is never good. It is never an honor. And guess what? If your ancestors were oppressed in the past and they worked through it and you live a better life than they did, guess what? Be proud of them. Nobody really owes you anything. Nobody owes me anything because of what happened to my family or my people. Nobody owes me anything. Okay, now, I had to pass this around the family. Of course, my son, he's funny. He has to make fun of this shit. He's hysterical. I should have him talking about this. I got to open the window, even though it's winter. So anyways, yeah, we were, first of all, elevated to oppression. How that is an elevation, I can't figure out. To me, it's an insult. Never, ever, ever will I ever let anyone oppress me. My mother taught me better. She told me when I was in school, and I know this is a no-no today, I am never to throw the first punch. In other words, I am never to start a fight. Never. She said, but if somebody attacks you, somebody starts a fight, somebody hits you, she said, I find out you don't hit back, then you're in trouble with me. Does that sound like a people group that would put up with oppression? No. And that is pretty much across the... Am I right? Damn right, Missy Tish. Yeah, this is my mom's side of the family. And who knows? All right, my dad's side, Welsh and German. Well, yeah, not even a century ago. We don't fit the bill because my family's darker. He has dark hair and hazel eyes. Not blonde hair and blue eyes. So I guess, Grandpa, we talked about that when I was a kid. He's Grandpa, you guys are being silly. Anyways, the Welsh side, the pagans were oppressed. Now, I'm sure way back when, we have plenty of pagans that, oh my gosh, that's where the psychic mediumship abilities come from, the Welsh side, so I'm sure they were murdered for that. Anyways, every people group's been oppressed. Is it something to be proud of? No, it is not an elevation. When you use it to play the victim, if you want to play the victim, that's not an elevation. Sorry, everyone. Sorry, woke people. Yes, I'm trying to raise the vibration of this planet. That means everybody. I don't give a damn what your nationality is, what color your skin is. Okay, so this other Dago, this young Dago, then deems we're people of color. Now, that's fine with me. I don't care what color my skin is. I will admit, I've always been a little jealous. Here she goes again. She's going to turn off this camera. Come here, baby. I will admit I've been a little jealous of my mother having a darker olive skin than me. But then my niece is born. She's even darker than my mother. So I was more jealous of her. But that's the only way, because I just wanted that look. Not that there's wrong with anybody else's look. I wanted that look. I like my... I have my mother's facial features, but her hair's darker than mine. Of course, my hair's getting lighter as I get older. Shh. Anyways, well, living in the desert. That's my biggest excuse. I live in the desert. The sun did that. Anyways, so... Right, so... And the funny thing is, this was about a year or two ago, long before I ever heard this Italian X thing, my friend, who's Latino, he kept... You're not... He was your person of color. I said, well, nobody's ever told me that before. I said, what makes you say that? Well, look at your skin color. I'm like, Juan, I live in the desert. I have a tan. Then he goes, look at your facial features. He goes, they're exotic. I said, well, my descendants are from the Mediterranean, Sicily. And what else? I forgot what else he said. But anyways, he had a list. I never thought anything about it. I don't care. Because it's not who I truly am is the spirit who resides in this body. That's the real me. I just chose, for whatever reason, to come into this crazy family. Half of which is Sicilian. Sorry, everybody over there. Yeah. So, yeah, my great-grandfather, he's still in trouble. He moves from Sicily to Chile, which makes sense. Warm weather. Then he moves everybody to Cleveland. It's freezing there. So what does his great-granddaughter do? In her older age, arthritis and everything's getting worse. I moved to the desert. No winter. Anyways, so that was the only gist I got. And I was like, are these young Dagos turning into wimps? Wusses? They don't have a backbone? Get some fortitude, some moral character? You gotta whine? Italians don't whine. That pisses me off. Now, I know this is going on. There's Latinx, which sort of applies to my family, because my family, again, Sicily, Chile. My grandmother was born in Chile. Her native language, Spanish. Of course, my family takes Sicilian, Italian, and Spanish and English, and whooshes them all together. They used to. Not anymore. It's mostly English now. This cat is wild. I'm sorry, guys. She's jumping up and down off the table. Yeah, little girl, come here. Oh, my goodness. She's not so little. This girl swings from my curtains. You're having issues with that. Anyways, so, finally, I got the information. I don't know why this didn't come up before, but my son and I, we laughed hysterically about this. It's ridiculous. My friend Juan, who's Latino, and there's a Latinx too, he laughed. I'm like, really? This is so stupid. Anyways, so, Italian X, which I couldn't figure. What the hell's the X? Here's what it says. A gender-neutral and all-inclusive form of Italiano. Really? So then what happens to my name? Or anybody else's in my family? My name, in Italian, is Michelina. My grandma, of course, calls me Miguelina. Miguel from Spanish and Ina from Italian. But that's okay, I like it. But what happens to my name then? It's just Miguelin, Miguelit? What? I don't like it like that. It sounds ugly. Anyways, I think it's stupid. You're going to take a Romance, like an entire language, and change it just because you got a problem with gender? I chose to come in here as a woman for a reason. I really can't remember why, but I think it's becoming clear now. Anyways, I enjoy being a woman. Now, I don't want that taken from me. I like being feminine. I know I'm not acting like it right now. I like being feminine. I like that A at the end of my name. I like Italiana. I'm Italiana. Not Italian X, I'm Italiana. Now, I know there are people out there who don't really want genders. I forgot the word for that, and I apologize. You're supposed to ask the pronoun these days, or they get offended. They get offended if you don't use the right pronoun. Now, should somebody tell me, well, I prefer this pronoun, I will do my best to honor that request. Remember to use that particular pronoun. However, should somebody ask me what my pronoun is, I'll be offended. Okay? Now, don't mess up my heritage. You know what, guys? You're fucking with my heritage, and I don't like it. So anyways, I think that's stupid. What is it? Counterculture? Is that counterculture? I don't know what counterculture. This place is so nuts. I told you I don't incarnate here, and these are the reasons why, people. But we're going to get to the point how you actually do get rid of racism. This is not it. To blaringly point out these things, and you have to watch what you say to this. You guys are nuts. Get me out of here. I want to go home. I'm serious. These are the reasons. This is stupid shit. Anyways, now it's WPOC, a white person of color. Now, the reason I'm a white person of color is because, well, European on my dad's side and, well, Mediterranean on my mother's. So I'm a white person of color automatically. Not because I'm Italian. I guess because if Mediterraneans are people of color, then I am, because I have half and half, which my grandpa used to tease me about when I was a kid. He called me his little half and half. Right, I remember that, because I wasn't all Sicilian. So anyways, white person of color, someone who is light-skinned and European. Oh, I guess we are European, not, okay, I get confused. That's why I had to switch to Mediterranean, because you people keep confusing me. Our family used to think we were European, but now we've got this confusion so nice, I'm Mediterranean. Because I don't know what to say. You people get so offended about every little thing, even if it's my people and it's me. What are you offended about? But still a person of color. I don't care what color I am. I don't care if I was purple with red polka dots. Is his mom here? No, she didn't die yet. Anyways. Right. So, here we go. We're discriminated against. Now, Italian X people. How about Italians? Italian X. Don't call me Italian X. Italians. Italian people are often stereotyped as mafia bosses and chefs. Now, not all Italians. Can I go there, Grandpa? Everybody? I most certainly can. I'm having permission from my family. Not all Italians were in the mob. Maybe all Sicilians. Sicilians started the mob. Now, my grandma, she used to be in denial when she was here. She know there's no mob, and we didn't start it. Her husband, my grandpa, a bookie for the mafia. We have others, and I can tell by the way certain cousins speak about certain things that our family was in the mafia. There's not so much an Italian mafia anymore, but it was started by Sicilians. Let's be honest, it was. But not everybody was in it. My family, yes. Okay? Yeah, don't bring that shit in my house. My grandpa would bring home expensive stuff for my grandma. How do you afford that and get it out? I don't want it in my house. Come on, let's be honest. Some were. And as Sicilians started it. Now, to generalize, yes. That is considered prejudice. Not all of us were. If anybody asks, the topic comes up, I say, yeah, my family was, but not anymore. Right. The chef? What's an insult about being a chef? That's a good thing, but not all Italians are chefs either. And when they are, they're damn good ones. Anyways, and often can't go through their jobs at pizzerias without being made fun of. Uncle Chuck! He worked at a pizzeria after he retired from the post office. No, they weren't Italian. Right. People who owned the place weren't Italian. My uncle was. Any problems? Not that he can think of, he's saying. Really? People make this shit up just so somebody can be oppressed. I think there was a young Dago out there who was so upset that our people are not oppressed because we don't put up with that shit, that she wanted to make it up. And you know what? This Puntana, she sees this and she gets upset. Bring it on, baby. I mean, this is stupid. Don't tell me my people. No, we're not oppressed. This is stupid. I'm so angry. Anyways, without being made fun of for their annoying accents. Well, it all depends on where you live. New York Italians, they have a weird accent to me. Cleveland Italians, well, they say sandwich. My whole family, I say sandwich. But yeah, sandwich. I don't know what else. We have all this. Right. So what? Nobody made fun of anybody, did they? The young generation of my family, we still do. No, that was your son-in-law, Grandpa. I'm Grandma, yeah. Yeah. Where is this coming from? The accents and okay. So wait a minute. So the Italian people are often stereotyped as mafia bosses and chefs and often can't go through their jobs at the pizzerias without being made fun of for their annoying accents and erased from their status as a WPOC. Status? Why is that a status? Somebody please tell me, why is that a status? It is what it is. It's who you are. Guess what? It's how you chose to be born into this life for whatever reason, and you had a particular reason. People of color, whatever that encompasses, and I don't even know anymore. It used to be just African Americans or anybody of African descent. I I just get confused. You woke people keep adding in all this shit, and I can't keep up. Anyways, that's not a status. It just is what it's a nationality. It's a skin color. So what? Cool your, my God, people, relax. Yeah, you know what? Our Creator views us all, no matter what color skin we have or what planet we come from. We're all of equal value. Oppressed, not oppressed, purple, black, olive, tan, I don't know. White. Everybody is of equal value. Now here, that's not the Creator's fault. Guess what? Who has the final say in value? The one who created, the artist, the one who created it. So anyways, that's so. Also, modern culture often spreads anti-Italian dog whistles and slurs, which will be discussed next. Oh, this is good. Okay, anti-Italian slurs. I'm not putting the X. Because you put the X, you're Xing me out. Anyways, Fredo. It's a name. Or Alfredo, you know, the Fredo sauce. Am I saying that right? Something like that. Yeah, the food. I love that. Anyways, you don't eat it often. It's very fattening. Yeah, it's from up north, the northern Italian. We don't mess with them too much. Oh, did I just promote? No, I'm joking. Anyways, Luigi. I doubt anybody would call me Luigi. Nobody's called my son Luigi. Anybody call you Luigi when you were here, John? Not really. Yeah, you looked more German. Nobody was ever called Colodger. That's my, yeah. They were called by either their Italian names or their Anglo names, as I like to call it. Nobody was called Luigi. Mario. Oh, we didn't have those games then. That was when I was, what, late teens? Something like that. They came around. Didn't nobody, yeah. I don't know. WAP. Now, W-A-P. I don't remember what it stands for. WAP, not WASP. WAP. Yeah, that was a very common Italian slur when I was young. Again, we could call each other WAP. That's okay. Dago was another, but it's not on the list. I don't know why. Maybe it's out of fashion. White. Being called white is a racial slur for us. Not for me. I don't care. I bet you ask my mother, she'll tell you she's white. She's 100% Sicilian. As south in Italy as you can get. Messina, Sicily is where her family's from. Yeah. White. Invalidated status. What is this thing with status? I mean, I joke around about my people being better, whatever. It's a joke. There is no status. Everybody's of equal value. Whoops! Spirit got too close to the camera again. It was a Dago or a kraut. Oh, what do we have for Welsh? I don't know. It was a Dago. Aunt Charlotte, get back there. Anyways, status. I don't get that. There is no status. There's none of these levels. You go to the spirit realm and you look down. Boy, is that stupid shit. You get over there, you're like, that is stupid shit. That doesn't even exist in reality. This place is such a false reality. It's ridiculous. Mafia. I already discussed that. Some families yes, some families no. What are you going to do? Now here's the one my son loves. And he says, I'll claim it proudly. Oh, not Pasta Elite. Okay, Pasta Elite. I never heard that. Pasta people. Now, my son, the one who's here, he loved it. He goes, I will proudly wear the name Pasta People. Right. Typical Dago, he likes his pasta. And his pizza. Yeah, but I like the real pizza, not this Americanized shit. Uh-oh, was I being Italian? Bench. I like real Italian pizza. How you can help end Italian discrimination by not putting the X on the end. By confronting and fixing Italian stereotypes. Tell others if they do the same as well, and listen to WPOC in general. You just listen to one. Also, be sure to support Italian businesses by going to your local pizzeria or Italian food restaurant. Wait a minute. By saying that, you're being prejudiced towards Italians. You want to support an Italian business, go visit gypsywitchcreations.com or come see me in Quartzsite because that's who I currently am. There you go. You just supported an Italian business. I never worked in a pizzeria. Uncle Chucky crossed over. He doesn't work in a pizzeria anymore. And the owner crossed over too. Yeah. Anyways, I mean, I'm sorry, this is ridiculous. And as an Italian person, I'm insulted. I am insulted. I'm offended. Does anybody do a survey and go through the majority of that nationality, that people group, whatever you want to say? Is this what you want? No, I'm proud of my ancestors. You always go like this back there. Right. I'm proud of them. I'm proud to be Italian. I'm proud to be German. I'm proud to be Welsh. I'm mostly Italian. Why would I want it changed? And yeah, people who have these prejudice and call names, ignore them. You know who you are. You know what you're worth. You know your value. Get on with your life. Now, when we do things like this, Italian X, Latin X, whatever, I have not talked to my friend Juan about how he feels about this Latin X. I should interview him on this, see what he feels. Anyways, when we do this shit, what we are doing, first of all, is putting the entire planet on guard and having to watch every little thing we say. I was hoping George Orwell was wrong about that one, the thought police, but yet it has come to fruition. When you are speaking to me, don't tell me Italian X. You could say Italian in English. Or you could call me Italiano. Italiana. Yeah, Sicilian gets in there and it comes out or something like that. Anyways, when we do things like this and we point out these people groups. Now, I never heard of half this shit. But all of a sudden, somebody has to put it out there. I never heard of it. I'll bet you that happens a lot. People are like, well, I've never heard that. I've never heard that. So you got this pointed out. So you're pointing out prejudice. By having to watch these things and all of us being pointed out, we got this people group over here, this people group over here, these people groups here, they're people of color. The real pale ones, like my poor daughter-in-law, not poor that she's pale, but, well, that she's white. Because these days, you want to know who's being prejudiced against and oppressed? Are white people, especially if you're as pale as she's Finnish. You don't get more pale than that. I feel sorry for the white people now. Why do we have to have one group pounded on all the time? One group to blame. Now, I will admit, for most of these past, several centuries, yes, white people were at the top of the status financially, whatever, and etc., like a caste system. No caste systems. There are not really caste systems. There is a cat system scratching at my screen door. However, right now, mommy's not happy. Anyways, there are no caste systems. White people never should have been at the top. Nobody should have been at the bottom, and I think everybody is taking the turn. Nobody should be taking turns. We're all of equal value. And I'll admit, that shit happened. Now, I'm not going to say history is accurate, because when I talk to spirits from the past and history, there's a grain of truth. But, yeah, the thing written by the victor is true. Things have changed. It's like gossip. The telephone that we used to play in school, and then you get to the end of the line and the message is totally skewed. That's what happens with history. We have to admit that, but there is a grain of truth to it. So, yes. That did happen. What we have to remember, first of all, is that was a long time ago. Now, what we are doing today, I'm sorry, I got a new phone. I can't figure out how to silence it. We're just perpetuating the past. We are bringing back something we should have left behind a long time ago. But we haven't. It's one of the problems with this planet. to fix things, they create more problems. Okay? Now, I said I was offended, but, I don't hang on to that. I don't think about it. I actually think it's funny. Maybe I shouldn't, because it's sad that this shit goes on. What was I reading? And I can't remember. Oh, no, I heard it on the news program or something. They did some kind of study. Excuse me. Job applicants. The employer did not see the person, did not know the name of the person, just saw the qualifications. Did not know gender, race, anything. Nationality, nothing. So they hired the most qualified. Well, this makes a hell of a lot of sense to me. That would be the wise thing to do. You always want the most qualified. But what they found was, I can't even believe it. Yeah. Still, it was racially in favor of the usual white people, or in the past. Now, propaganda runs amok these days. That sounds like propaganda to me. There is not one race on this planet that is more intelligent or less intelligent than another. I don't believe the results of that test, survey, whatever. They were skewed because they want the narrative to still be that white people have it better. Now, I think the idea was great. I said years ago that's the way it should be done. Now, I don't believe that. I don't care if you're from the Middle East, the Mediterranean, Africa, South America, or the Oriental area. I don't care what color your skin is. If your talent and your natural inclination leans towards that job description, you have just as good a chance as anybody else. I don't care what color your skin is. Now, if you're white and you don't have that, and they don't see who you are or whatever, you're not going to get the job. I don't believe there's more white people smarter than anybody else on this planet. Now, remember, I am half white. I can't believe I'm saying that. I mean, this is stupid shit. That was propaganda, people. They want to keep the narrative going. Okay? Keep the narrative going that the whites are still privileged. Even the 5-year-olds who are white, who've never been, haven't had enough time to know what prejudice is, are forced to get up in school and admit to being prejudiced. How stupid is that? I am speaking as a mother and I'm not a grandmother yet. As a mother, that is stupid. We have got to stop this shit. You know how? You just look at each other for who you truly are. Remember, these bodies are vehicles so that we can maneuver around the earthly plane. Because it's very difficult to without them. Right. And that's all it is. That's all. Who we really are. That spirit within these physical bodies is who we truly are. And in the spirit realm, there is no color, there is no race, there is no nationality. You are still that spirit, that person, and you still have your soul group, your soul family. This is what we chose for this lifetime. I mean, we have to remember that. If this planet is going to move up, and not this, you move up a little bit, then go back here, move. Now, when we keep, what was it that called, Dad, when it started when I was a young adult? Yeah, they were automatically hiring minorities, whether they were qualified or not. Now, that doesn't work either. Because if you're just going to hire a minority just for the sake of it, everything being even or being more minorities than white people, we've got a problem. Because what's going to happen is The employer is not going to wait for a qualified person, no matter what color. They just want to get their quota met. That's stupid. Now, that was mostly for African Americans back then. If I were an African American, I would have been insulted. Are you implying my people are not smart, intelligent enough to get it on our own, to get that job on our own merit? That's what it sounds like to me. For me, I don't need somebody, and I don't care if she's another Dago or not. I don't need anybody protecting me. And to say, well, to go to pizzerias, well, that's prejudice. That's an insult to me. I'm Italian. Yet my uncle worked for the post office. I don't even know what Grandpa did other than a bookie for the mom. Yeah. You worked at Corbin? Okay, my uncle, his brother, he owned, a dye metal shop, in Cleveland. I think I know where it was, yeah. Uncle Frank did? Yeah, with another guy. So they combined the two names, Correo, Cor, and then the bin. I don't know who he was. I'm not going to try to get it. Yeah. So everybody worked at Corbin, but then we had these little side jobs with the mom. Right, that was our family, not every Italian family. But to say, support Italian business by going to a pizzeria, that's prejudice. Now, I'm not offended by it because, well, I like pizza and it does come from my nationality. But I would say you want to support an Italian business and you support GypsyWitchCreations.com. How about that Italian business? So anyways, what the best way to get rid of prejudice is to not keep bringing it up. Okay, I talked to somebody who has a different color skin. I'm not thinking about, well, their skin color is different than mine, and what do I do, and what do I say, so that I don't offend them? I just talk like I would, well, to whatever I am. I don't even know anymore. I'm having an identity crisis because of all these new labels and titles that come up. And am I really? No, I know who I am. If you know who you are, and you know your value and your worth, none of this should be an issue. You come across prejudice and it's directed towards you, you handle it with dignity. Don't let it go, but deal with it. You see prejudice towards someone else, handle it with dignity. Never ever let it go. But when you have to have, well, we need this certain ratio, we have to have equal of this race and this race in this company. No, that is making things more prejudice. Hire people for what they're worth, their merit. I would have been back when that started with job hiring. If I were an African American, I would be saying, are you saying I'm stupid? That would be my thing. I'd be like, no, I could get a job on my own merit. I'm intelligent and I can do it. That's how I would feel. This stupid shit, no. I will never ever refer to myself as an Italian X or whatever that is. To me, that's insulting. I don't know. This whole thing is weird. Why don't we just start looking at each other like, well, brothers and sisters from the same creator who come from the same home. Our true home is the spirit realm. That's where we're all from. This place, this earth is an illusion. Get over skin color, nationality, belief systems. Let it go. I mean, I'm not really mad about the Italian X thing. I wouldn't want to be called that. But the very fact it exists is what's pissing me off. Latin X, whatever. Why can't we all just not, talk to each other like Italian? Who said Italian? Sorry, I must have heard somebody say. Like human beings. That's all. Oh, look, another human being. I don't care what color your skin is. Let's have a good conversation, a healthy one, whatever. Everybody on this planet is capable of it. Let's start acting like it. That's the way you get rid of it. what is going on here? Divide and conquer has always been the elite's tactic for control. First, divide them, separate them, keep them away from each other, hint, hint. It was always done by racism and prejudice. I know, when was this? Back in the early 2000s? I noticed racism had gone by the wayside. It was lovely. Oh, but the powers that be cannot have that, so it was brought back. And now you have the holier-than-thou woke people who think they make all the moral rules for everybody, no matter what color their skin is. And they're the thought police. We don't need a thought police. If people... I have more confidence in the human race than most people do. If left to our own devices, instead of being told, well, people are inherently bad, inherently sinful, etc., you can't trust humans without government, whatever. If we were left to our own devices and knew and understood our value, the crime rate would plummet, mental illness would plummet, suicides would plummet, everything would. And we wouldn't have our differences shoved in our face. We come here to experience those differences. It's why we incarnate. It's supposed to be a good thing. The difference is not a bad thing. I always say, even if somebody views something different than you, has a different opinion, share your opinions politely. You could learn something. Don't shove it in their face. Don't act like you know better. Don't talk down to them. Just have a discussion. Say it's on a belief system. One person, well, I believe this and this. The other person says, well, I don't agree with that. I don't believe that, but this is what I believe. You have an adult conversation like that, you can learn something. We have to get rid of this divide and conquer, especially racism. This X this and X that. Please don't X me out. I still exist. We got to stop doing that. It's okay. Now, I don't believe in labels. Spiritually, the more spiritually advanced you get, the more you understand. But we also come here for these differences, the polarization. Okay? When we get to the point we can learn to enjoy them and be okay with them, it's okay. You don't believe the way I do. Spiritually, religiously. I'm not a religious person. I am spiritual. Oops, I said I wasn't. Yeah, I know I'm not, because I do things that spiritual people aren't supposed to do. Anyways, don't worry about that. It's okay. It doesn't matter what you believe. It doesn't matter what your skin color is. It doesn't matter what part of the world you're from. Know your value and your worth, and know everybody else's value and worth. That doesn't mean you have to get along with everybody. If somebody's in your life who does not serve you, all right, it's okay to move on. But we cannot think of each other as lesser than. And the worst way to try to improve that is by making a big deal about prejudice towards somebody and telling everybody, well, you can't say this, you can't do that, and you can't. I mean, he's an Italian. I could not believe what I was reading. Now, I'm an older Italian. I'm in the later generation. But still, that shouldn't matter. My son, who's 23, he laughed at it. He thought it was funny. It's stupid. It's got to stop, everyone. In order to advance, we have to look past these costumes we wear here. I believe one of the reasons we incarnate is to learn who we truly are. Know ourselves. Not based on the labels, And I know I joke about it. Because I'm proud of my family and proud of my heritage. Nobody says you can't be. You don't have to ignore where you came from. I think knowing your heritage, your ancestors, is important. It's important in spirituality. But you have to remember, it doesn't make you better than anybody else. And say, all right, say your ancestors were slaves. Be proud of how far they came and what they did for your benefit. They did it for you. And here you are. Keep it going, I'm not saying promote prejudice, but just make them proud for who you are, your value. Because you have value. And if you come across somebody who tells you you don't, walk away. Get rid of them. Don't go back. Because you do have value. Be proud of your ancestors. I'm proud of mine. They were in the mafia. I'm proud of mine. Yeah. Mom was thinking that. Spiritually advanced beings say she's proud of her family who was into violence, right, in the mafia. No. This government is worse than the mafia, I think. They're more conniving, vicious. Yeah. Ethics. Mafia, well, the Sicilian Mafia, the Italian Mafia had ethics. The government doesn't. Anyways, how am I getting on that? But that's how you get rid of it. Ignore the racism. Let it go. Ignore it. Treat each other of equal value and ignore the bullshit that the powers that be are using to divide us. And that's all that is. And the thing that happens is some people buy into it. And then you end up with things like Italian X, Latin X. And the very fact so many nationalities have an X after them means one person is doing this. Or one very tiny group. I'm very suspicious of this. This is my nature to be suspicious. Let's stop that. Ignore that shit. And treat each other as equals. And with love. That's the way to get this planet a sun. Ignore the division. And let's face it, they've come up with a new prejudice. I'm not even going to go there. We all know what it is. And that's stupid too. Don't ever let that. That'd be the stupidest thing to divide us. I'm sorry, it is. Anyways. Not really, Mom. You said it all. Yeah, I'd say I did. Yeah, let's get rid of that X thing after nationalities. Let's get rid of thinking about people's belief systems or the color of their skin. Let's just look at each other for the spirits that we are. The spiritual beings that we are. Because that's who we are. You die, guess what? You leave this skin color behind. You do. It's gone. Bye-bye. And that is reality after you die, not here. Always remember that. We need to stop regressing. We need to go forward. Okay? Now I'm done ranting about that. Okay? I don't care what my nationality is or anybody else's. If I get along with you, I'm going to hang out with you. I don't care if you have purple with pink polka dots. Okay? Everybody is of equal value. We are not to be divided. So, blessed be, and make it a joyful life.